Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today what I'm going to be showing you is how to do the waffle stitch. This is the beginner's video, so what I'll be doing is showing you how to do each individual stitch that makes up the waffle stitch. If you already know how to do the double and the single crochet, I'll be putting a link in the description below for the quick version of this, which will just teach you how to do the waffle stitch. For this pattern we mostly use the double crochet, which is a US term. The UK term for this is the treble crochet. I also use the single crochet, while the UK term for that is the double crochet, but I'll let you know as we go along which stitch we're using. So as you can see, the waffle stitch is made up mostly of double crochet, and they've got these little indentations which make it look like a waffle. So what we're going to need is yarn. Now the yarn that I'm using is Christmas Classics from Knitting Network. Now this currently isn't in stock because I bought this in the sale just after Christmas. And you're also going to need the right crochet hook to match your yarn. This actually requires a 4mm, but I am actually using a 5mm hook with it because I just prefer this hook to go with this yarn. What we're going to start off with is a slip knot. So this is the way that I do a slip knot. I put the yarn over my fingers like this. I pull it, twist it round my fingers, cross it over underneath and back over the top. And then I take my crochet hook, push this between my fingers under the first loop, over the top of the second loop and hook that loop on my hook, pull that gently through, and then that first loop should just slide off your fingers. Then tighten that knot and then pull the loop tight on the hook. So to start, what I did is I chained multiple of 3. So in this case for my sample I did 21, and then you need to do it plus 2 chains at the end, which that will make sense in a minute. So like I said, I did 21. So first what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a chain. You've got the loop on your hook, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the yarn over your hook, and then you're going to hook that yarn on and pull that through that loop. And so as you can see, then what you're going to do is you go once again, yarn over and then pull that loop through the other loop. So that's 2. Yarn over, pull that through. So that is 3. Now you don't include the loop that is on your hook when you are counting your chain. So as you can see, that is 3 chains we've got on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 21, like I said for my example, and then I'm going to chain 2 at the end. So you can make this as many chains wide as you want to. So for example, if you're making a blanket, you'll need to do obviously a lot more than 21, but just make sure it is a multiple of 3. So there's my 21, and now I'm just going to chain those extra 2 that we need. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do double crochets all along this foundation chain. In the UK terms, this is the triple crochet. And we're going to be doing this stitch into the 3rd chain from the hook. You do not include the chain that is on the hook. So as you can see, we count 1, 2, and you want to be putting your hook under that chain there. So what we do is you put your yarn over the top of your hook, put your hook through that loop, put your yarn over your hook again, and then pull that yarn through that loop. So you now have 3 loops on your hook. And then what you need to do is put your yarn over, pull that through 2 of those loops, then yarn over and pull that through those 2 loops. If you end up pulling your loop through all 3 loops that were on your hook, you'll end up doing a half double crochet, which is not what we want for this. So what we're going to be doing is doing double crochet all along. Because we're going to be doing double crochet all along, you're no longer going to be skipping any of the chains. The only reason we did that at the beginning is because those 2 extra chains on the end were the turning chains. We will be doing more turning chains when we get to the end of the rows, but I'll explain more when we get there. So once again, it is yarn over the hook, put your hook through the chain, yarn over, pull that loop through the chain, so you've got 3 loops on your hook, You then want to put your yarn over, pull it through just 2 loops, yarn over, pull it through 2 loops. Okay, and once again, yarn over, push it through the chain, yarn over, pull through, so you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to be doing that all along until we get to the very last chain. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be in real time, so if you want to skip on ahead, I will put a timestamp in the description below. When you get to the end of the row, this is what we're going to have. So what we need to do now is chain 3. Now this was when you put your yarn over your hook and pull through. So that's 1. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work, which means we'll be working from right to left. This is where it gets slightly more complicated, but don't worry, it is simple. This is where we're going to start changing the pattern to start making these little dimples that make up the waffle stitch. So what we're going to be doing is where we would normally put our hook through the top of the stitch, for some of the stitches we're actually going to be putting our hook underneath what I will call is this post from the previous double crochet. So what we need to do is put our yarn over, and then like I said, rather than going these top stitches, which we will still be putting our crochet hook through those on some of the later stitches, but for this first one you need to take your hook and put it underneath that post. So we go underneath from the right and then out the left side, and then we'll be putting our yarn over like we normally do for a double crochet, pulling that through, and then just treat it like another double crochet where it's yarn over, pull through 2, and then it's yarn over, pull through 2 again. As you can see, that is pulled like that stitch forward from the previous row, so it's making those 2 stitches look more prominent. So for the next 2 double crochets, put your hook in the top of the stitches just like you would for a normal double crochet. So what we need to do is yarn over, like I said, do 2 normal double crochets. So put your hook through both of those loops. In some patterns you may only put your hook through one of these loops, either the front or the back loop, but for this we need to put it through both of the loops. So yarn over, pull that through the loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then we need to repeat that in the next one. So yarn over, put it through loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's the pattern that we're going to be repeating all the way across now. So 1 post double crochet and then 2 normal double crochets. So again, yarn over, under that post, yarn over and pull that loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So as you can see, it's starting to make that little dimple that we need. We'll be doing those 2 normal double crochets again. So it's yarn over, push through those 2 loops, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and once again yarn over, push it through the loops, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Tension isn't something that I'm normally too worried about. However, I would say with this to watch your tension. I made a big blanket for a Christmas present, and I found that when I had finished the blanket, the end of it was actually 2 inches wider than the beginning row, which meant that I ended up taking the last 2 rows down to try and tighten my tension, just to try and make it a little bit better. It still ended up being ½ inch out, but I was satisfied that I'd managed to sort most of it out. So I'd just say keep an eye on your tension just to make sure you don't let it go too loose halfway through. When I did this sample, I was actually quite lucky because I managed to sort my tension out so they were just about equal. But that's just something, like I said, normally I'm not too worried, but with this I would just keep an eye on it if I were you. As you go throughout the pattern, you can always keep checking just to make sure your tension is right and your blanket is actually coming out okay. We're going to be repeating that 3-stitch pattern all the way across, where it is 1 double crochet under the post and then 2 normal double crochets. When you get to the end, you're going to notice that you've got these 2 double crochets and a chain on the end. So you'll be doing 1 more post double crochet. So yarn over, under the post, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to be doing another double crochet, so yarn over, and it'll just be in the top of that chain on the end. So like in the top there. So put your hook through, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So even though that is the second row technically, it is the first row of our 2-row pattern we're going to be repeating throughout. For the next row, what we'll be doing is pretty much the opposite of what we've just done. So what I mean is, if you chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then turn your work again, where the first time we did a post double crochet, this time what we're going to be doing is doing a normal double crochet in that top stitch, and then everywhere that we did a top stitch double crochet, we're now going to be doing a post double crochet instead. So like I said, what we'll be technically doing is reversing everything we've just done on the previous row. So put your yarn over and go in that top stitch again, and then put your yarn over and do a normal double crochet. So pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Then for the next 2 stitches, we're going to be under the post. So if you put your yarn over and then put your hook under that double crochet post, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2 again, and then repeat that again. So under the post, so essentially what you've done is just the opposite of the previous row. So that 3-stitch pattern will now be repeating all the way across. So you'll be doing a normal double crochet in the top stitch and then 2 double crochets that go under the post. and we'll be doing that all the way across. That completes the 2-row pattern. When I flip it over, you can now start to see that waffle pattern emerging. You repeat that 2-row pattern for as many rows as you want. So if you're making a blanket, just make it as big as you want to. So as a reminder, the row 1 of the pattern is you do 1 under post double crochet and then 2 normal ones at the top stitches. On your second row of the 2-row pattern, you are doing 1 double crochet in the top stitch and then you're doing 2 under post double crochets. I'm going to do this pattern for another few rows just so I can build up a sample to show you. Then I will show you how I finish off the waffle stitch blanket. As before, this will be in real time, but what I will do is I'll put a timestamp so you can skip ahead to the end if you want to. What I've done here is I've only done for my final row the first row of the 2-row pattern. The reason I've done that is because on my sample you'll see here I did the 2 rows and then I like to finish off with a single crochet row, and I just find it doesn't quite look right. It just seems to look a little bit like a bit of a flat panel in comparison to the other waffle stitch rows. So on the sample I'm currently doing, I'm just going to do the 1 row of the 2-row pattern, so then at the end we can compare to see which one looks better. So what you want to do is we're going to do a row of single crochet, or in the UK, like I said, that's double crochet. You need to chain 1 and then turn your work. So we're going to be doing single crochet all the way along. So just remember, like I said previously, to watch your tension. Like I said, we're just going to be skipping that first chain. The reason you skip it is because that is the turning chain. It's just to give height to your work. So what you'll be doing is, like I said, skip that first chain and insert your hook into that second chain along. And then you're going to put your yarn over and pull through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, and then you'll be putting your yarn over and pull through 2. So that is the single crochet, or as I said in the UK, that is the double crochet. So you're going to be doing that all along. So put your hook through, yarn over, pull that loop through, so you're 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to put your yarn over and pull that through those 2 loops. And you need to do that all the way along that row. When you get to the end of the row, you're just going to do a single crochet in the top of that chain on the end. And then after that single crochet, what I do is I like to do a slip stitch, which is you just put your yarn over again and then just pull that through that loop and just pull it tight. Take your scissors and cut your yarn and then just pull your hook to pull that yarn through like that. So you've got a little tail there. So you just need to pull that tight and then just weave it in using a needle. So now at least we can compare these 2 samples together. So obviously the first sample that I did both parts of the 2-row pattern, and then I did the single crochet row afterwards. It does have this little bit of a flat panel on the end of it, which I'm not saying is bad at all. If you like that, then yes, feel free to do both rows. But like I said, I just wanted to compare how it would look if I did the complete waffle squares, which as you can see on here, along the edge, I've got the complete square of a waffle pattern and then the single crochet along the edge. I actually prefer how this looks, so I think in future I will probably do it where I just do half of that 2-row pattern. And it does look like I actually managed to get my tension pretty spot on, but then this is only a small sample. So that is the waffle stitch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you were able to follow along. Please subscribe to support the channel and so you don't miss any content in the future, and do comment if there is anything that you would like to see on this channel. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye!